Hi guys and welcome to TechBased. In this video we're going to talk about the latest Windows 11 Insider preview build for the Canary and the dev channels of the Windows Insider program. In this video we have a huge build from Microsoft that was released to both the Canary and dev channels. We're going to talk more about that in this video and I'll explain to you what that means. Also, the build version that we're talking about today is build 26052. As I've said, this is a huge build from Microsoft and we have a lot to talk about in this video, so stay tuned for some nice features that were implemented by Microsoft in this build. If you enjoy videos like these, please don't forget to leave a like below and also subscribe to the TechBased channel with the notification bell activated so that you won't miss any future uploads like this one. So let's begin with the video. First of all, a quick explanation of what happened and what has changed in the Windows Insider program. First of all, Windows Insiders in the dev channel are now being moved from receiving 23,000 series builds to receiving 26,000 series builds. And as I've said, this build was released to both the Canary and the dev channel. And this means that right now the window is opened to switch from the dev to the Canary channel or from the Canary channel to the dev channel if you're interested in that. And of course, this means that on the dev channel, all the latest new features from the Canary channel will be implemented. So I think that is great news. And in the Windows Insider program, we're now getting the Germanium branch, which is basically the base for the new Windows 11 version that will be released later this year. And their Germanium RTM build should be compiled in April. Also, starting with this build, Windows Insiders in the Canary and dev channels will see the new version of Windows, which is updated inside Windows specifications, and that is version 24H2, which will be this year's annual feature update, not Windows 12. We are still going with Windows 11, and the new version will be 24H2. As I've talked about in a previous video, the Windows 12 chances diminished a lot this year, and Microsoft is still continuing to provide annual feature updates for Windows 11, and this year, version 24H2. First of all, in this build, sudo is coming to Windows 11, so if we go into Windows PowerShell, for example, and type in here sudo and press enter, you're going to be able to use the sudo command in Windows. As you can see right now, it says that sudo is disabled on this machine. To enable it, go to the developer settings page in the settings app. So we're going to do that. We're going to settings and then system, scroll down a bit, and we're going to have here for developers, and we have here a new option, enable sudo, enable the sudo command. We're going to have to click on yes after we turn on the slider, and also configure how sudo runs applications in a new window with input disabled or inline. So we're just going to leave it as default, and now we should have sudo on our system. Let's type in the PowerShell sudo, and as you can see, we have more info about this. So I think for all Linux users who are also using Windows, this is great news, and I think sudo will be a very helpful command for a lot of users. Also, Microsoft is doing some improvements in hearing aid support inside settings, system sound and properties, and you're going to have additional settings that you can customize related to this support. So I think this is nice. And also for microphones in the sound section, if we choose our microphone, we're going to have a new microphone test zone here, which will allow us to talk or play audio at normal levels for a few seconds. We can start the test, or we can test mode for microphone audio processing, and we have here multiple options, default or communications. I think this is a pretty nice improvement from Microsoft if you want to test a microphone, see if it's working properly or not. Also, one thing to note is that plugging in to use a Windows Mixed Reality headset will not work starting with this build. This will no longer be available to users as the Windows Mixed Reality has been announced as deprecated. Also, Microsoft Defender Application Guard is no longer available as a feature on demand starting with this build. We also have a lot of new features related to Windows Copilot in this build. First of all, the new feature that is announced is that we can drag and drop certain things into Copilot. For example, we can drag and drop an image and we can do certain things about it if we want. As you can see, we can easily drag and drop it here, but also we have some new treatments and animations inside the taskbar. So let me show you that. On this machine, I have the most interesting one enabled, but there are three different treatments. The one that is basically doing nothing inside Copilot, one that has a badge, and the one that I'm just going to show it to you right now. I'm going to open a notepad and I'm just going to copy a text. Right click on the text and then click on copy, and notice this icon in the Copilot. Copy again. As you can see, we have this icon, which if we hover over, we're going to have these options: send to Copilot, summarize, or explain. I think this is pretty interesting. And if we click on summarize, we're going to click on send, and Copilot will start to summarize that for us. But I think this new animation is looking pretty good. Let's enable it one more time. Click on copy, and as you can see, you have that nice little pen that is writing on the taskbar. The same treatment can be used for images, so let me open an image. I'm going to go to pictures, then open an image, right click on the image, and then click on copy. Notice the new animation, which is copying that image. If we hover over that, send to Copilot, explain, or edit image. Let's do it one more time because I think it's looking pretty nice. These animations are really smooth. And again, send to Copilot, explain, or edit image. If we click on edit image, it's not working properly at the moment, but Microsoft, of course, will implement more features and more improvements to Copilot related to text and images in the near future. But as I've said, these new animations are looking pretty good in my opinion, and I'm really glad glad that Microsoft introduced them. And related to Copilot, Microsoft is also trying out the option to automatically start Copilot on wider screens when you start your Windows operating system, so I think that is also pretty nice. Another big thing in this build is the updated taskbar thumbnails for Windows 11. So if we open multiple apps in our taskbar, I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to open File Explorer and Settings, and if we hover over them, as you can see, we have a new animation, basically a new system for the thumbnails. Also a nice close button here. Everything matches the Windows 11 experience. We have rounding corners, nice animations, and watch what happens when we hover over another application. We have this nice animation, which is looking pretty good in my opinion. Also, if we have multiple tabs opened in File Explorer, we're gonna basically see the first tab that is opened and one more tab. If we have multiple opened, it's gonna say 3 more tabs and so on. Also, if we have multiple windows, as you can see, I now have the never combine option set here. It's gonna basically let us choose from both windows, even though we are hovering only over one. So I think that is pretty nice. But if you ask me, I think these new animations are pretty nice, and the new thumbnail system is looking pretty good because I think it needed a refresh as Windows 11 is getting more and more nicer design wise, and I'm not seeing any delays or any problems with it so far. Even though Microsoft is currently testing it out, I think they've done a pretty good job improving the taskbar thumbnails. Microsoft also updated the Energy Saver icon for desktop PCs. This icon is shown on the system tray when Energy Saver is enabled under Quick Settings, Power and Battery. Microsoft is also doing some changes to Bluetooth, and basically starting with this build, Microsoft is removing the option to override the Windows filter that filters out device classes that are uncommon, and basically now Discovery will always scan for all devices but only show common device types by default, and I think that is pretty useful. We also have a new settings page inside System, Display, and then Color Management. This will allow users to add or remove color profiles, as well as set default color profiles for the connected displays. I think these are some pretty nice new settings that we can use in Windows 11. This was basically moved from the old control panel to the new settings app. We also have some changes related to the registry editor. If we're going to edit and then click on find, you're going to notice that this now supports limiting a search to the currently selected key and its descendants, so I think that is pretty interesting. Microsoft is also doing some improvements related to developer APIs. Basically, they're introducing the Power Grid Forecast API, also an Energy Saver notification callback setting, and finally a minor extension of the existing Effective Power Mode API. So for those of you who are into APIs, make sure to check out the article below for more information. Related to security in this build, developer can use the Cryptography API Next Generation framework to help secure Windows keys with virtualization-based security. Now let's talk about some changes inside the Settings app. You can now go to Settings, Bluetooth and Devices, and then Printers and Scanners to choose to set up Windows Protected Print Mode by clicking on the Setup button. I think that is pretty interesting. Microsoft also moved the option to show your Wi-Fi password to the top of the Wi-Fi properties page under Settings, Network and Internet, and then Wi-Fi. They also updated the UI for storage spaces under Settings, System, and then Storage, and then Storage Spaces to more intuitively reflect spaces. They also removed some misleading status icons, replaced some links to disk management, and also shared drive labels and letter. We also have a new animation with an updated text when the PC detects a slow charger, which I think is pretty nice. In this build now you can use the camera app to join a Wi-Fi network. Just scan a QR code with the Wi-Fi details and a link will be provided that will open Settings to quickly get the new Wi-Fi profile added and connected. Also, as discovered by Phantom Ocean 3, we have a new accessibility feature, which is Speak for Me. This is hidden in this build. Basically, you can type what you want to say and have it spoken aloud. Pretty interesting, but it's now not working properly, of course, because it's being tested by Microsoft. And also, as discovered by Phantom Ocean 3, if you go into System and then Display, Graphics, you're going to notice this new section, Display Connection. If you click on it, the Settings app will crash, but I think this is a new section that Microsoft is working on. And also, as discovered by Phantom Ocean 3, Microsoft is also updating the OOB section of the setup, and we have some new transitions, some new animations, as you can see on his Twitter. So if you want to see the full preview of it, make sure to check out Phantom Ocean 3's Twitter page. Now we also have some app updates in this build. We have some updates for the Microsoft Store in the beginning. Basically, we have new and improved pages for Microsoft 365 that are improved to better describe all the benefits included in the subscription. And of course, don't forget to go into Library and then click on Get Updates to get all the latest updates, because also the Snipping Tool app and the Notepad app have received some updates. First of all, let's take a screenshot using Snipping Tools. I'm just going to press Windows Shift plus S and then take a screenshot, and here we're going to open inside the Snipping Tool the screenshot that we've just took. Let's maximize it. We're going to notice this new section, which will basically allow you to add shapes to your edit. Basically add a rectangle, a circle, line, arrow. You can resize them if you want, as you can see, using this fill, outline. As you can see, I think this is a pretty nice new design. It's using the mica effect. I think it's looking pretty good. As you can see, you can resize it, change the color of it, and so on. I think it's pretty useful, and you can very easily edit things using snipping tool. You no longer have to go into the Paint app to add an arrow or to mark something. Also inside Notepad, I think you've noticed before when we entered in the Notepad app, in this new version, if you select any text and right click on it and then click on Explain with Copilot, it will be automatically sent to Copilot to explain it using this new option. Or you can select a text and use the Ctrl+E combination to send this to Copilot, and I think that is pretty nice. Basically Ctrl+E from Explain with Copilot, and I think that is pretty useful. So this is the new option that was added to the Notepad, and I think the context menu inside Notepad is a little bit different. As you can see, certain things are not symmetric. If you ask me, the first section has larger gaps, but that's no problem. Of course, it's good that Microsoft is continuing to improve these apps. Now let's talk about a few fixes in this build. Microsoft fixed the issue where in some multi-monitor configurations the display would appear as frozen in the latest build, fixed a DWM issue in the last build causing some rendering issues, fixed an issue causing the last build to fail to install for some insiders with the error code 0x80188306, fixed the issue causing the print queue to not open the recent Canary channel flights, did some work to help improve the launch performance of the File Explorer, fixed multiple crashes impacting system tray and its flyouts. The volume slider in quick settings will now make a sound when adjusted again. I think that is also a really nice fix. And when using the save dialog, if you try to save a file to gallery in File Explorer, it will now save to your pictures library rather than showing an error. Also some known issues, of course. Make sure to note that some popular games may not work correctly in this build. And also what you're going to notice in this build is that the settings app is crashing way often than usual because Microsoft is doing certain tests with it, adding certain sections, so of course it will crash here and there. As you can see, right now it crashed. We cannot do anything, it's not scrolling or anything. We just need to restart it by closing it and opening back again to be able to use it. If you want to see the whole list of known issues, make sure to check out the article below in the video's description. Basically, this is the build for today. As I've said, it's a big build with a lot of new features, a lot of new things that Microsoft is testing, so let me know below in the comments what is your favorite new thing from this build. And we're also glad that Microsoft announced that the next version of Windows will be 24H2. I think that is also great news. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like below and also subscribe to the TechBase channel with the notification bell activated so that you won't miss any future uploads like this one. I was Mario from TechBase. Until next time, have a nice day.